Hey there everybody, it's Chelsea from Little Mountain Ranch, and today I'm going haying. So haying is probably one of the things that I look forward to, probably next to canning, maybe equal to when all the animals start having their babies in the summertime. I just look forward to it. There's something I find therapeutic about it, I think, almost. And also there's something about, as a woman, learning homesteading skills like being able to hay, run tractors, plow driveways, butcher animals, that sort of thing. Learning to be able to rely on ourselves and learning to be able to have skills to be able to be self-reliant, because that's the whole idea, is relying on self. Dan and I are a total team. We work together all the time, and I love being able to be an equal working partner when it comes to the actual farm work. I just love the feeling of knowing how to do it and being able to do it well. So I'm heading out to hay. One of the tricks that I've learned about raking, I'm raking today, we cut yesterday. So with haying up in this area, I don't know how it is in other areas, but in this area, you cut one day, rake the next day, and then bale the next day. And you need a stretch of hot weather. So we have a stretch of 30°C weather right now that's supposed to last for a week. So it's perfect hay weather. You know the whole make hay while the sun shines? Well, it's literal. So this is what it looks like when it has been just cut. So if I flip this, so on the top it's going to be dry like this, and then if I flip it over, this is actually pretty darn dry already, but it's a little more wet. So when I rake it up, it's going to rake it into piles like this so that the wind can pass right through it and dry it out the rest of the way. So one of the tricks to be able to tell if your hay is dry, you can get a moisture meter, which we have, which is just a meter that you can stick in and it'll tell you how much moisture your hay has. But this trick we've been using for a long time and it always seems to work, so I'll show you. You take some hay like this, give it a little twist, bend it up and pull. And if it pulls apart like that, you know your hay is cured and has the right moisture level. This is actually, we could, if it wasn't so late in the day, we could actually bale this up probably in about 2 hours after I'm done raking it. But we will bale tomorrow morning around noon once all the dew is off the meadow. So now I get to go sit in my tractor. Oh, I should probably step away so you can hear me. I'm gonna get a little mic. I just got a phone. I'm a little slow to get with technology. So we had a really super old iPhone before, so I just got this one the other day, but I noticed that I need a mic for when I'm recording because you can't pick up my voice when I turn the phone around. So I will do that. But I'm gonna go sit on here for it'll take me probably an hour to do this and just relax. It's very relaxing and meditative. So these rows like this, there we go, with the wind blowing through them and drying them out, that's what you want. We actually had some bales last year that we baled up and ended up having to untie them all and rebale them again because the moisture level was too high. And they will mold like that, or they can even start decomposing and creating enough heat, and they have been known to start fires, and that would be the last thing that you would want. Oh, and one more trick that I've learned, and I learned this the hard way, is that when you're raking, you want to rake so that you're removing the hay on your first round. You want to move it away from the side, because if I was to rake the other way and push this over this way, it would push up right against this side and be almost impossible to bale. So I've made that mistake, I hate to say it, but more than once. So let's go. And I will do a little bit of a time lapse here for you so that you guys can enjoy this too. Like I said, this is probably one of my favorite summertime farm tours. Here. We hadn't actually seen anything like this before we bought this place, but it was here and Dan was able to get it going. So it is, but one of the major belts went on it. So he has one on order. So hopefully that will come in within the next couple of days and we'll be able to finish up cutting up this field. One of the reasons we're haying so early is because we're having a drought right now. We have had no precipitation whatsoever in the last, I don't even know, a couple of months anyway. And so all our hay is drying out. You can actually see here. You can see just how dry it is. And we don't have irrigation on this part of our property, so we're just taking it off when we can to try to get as much of the good hay out as we possibly can. Our lower fields are all, they flood in the spring and they're all peat underneath, so they stay really moist. So we won't need to cut those until August, but we only end up getting one cut a year here, so we have to basically get as much off as we possibly can. One of the things that I was thinking about when I was driving the tractor just now and trying to film at the same time was about like safety and big machines. When I first started driving tractors, I didn't really appreciate the power of them. I hadn't really been around equipment very much before, so my husband, being a heavy-duty mechanic, tried to be like, okay, it just takes one tiny little mistake and you can maim yourself for life or even be killed. So last winter, I do the plowing on our driveway and I was driving my little tractor over there and I was plowing down the side of the driveway and I was really close to the side. And we had cut some wood along the side of the driveway in the fall. And there was a large, a pretty good size branch sticking out from the side of the road. It was probably 6 inches around. And it caught my foot, slammed my foot into the side. I'll show you in a second. Right here. So basically the log came in from the side like this and smashed my foot against here, and then the log broke off on this area. So that hurt like heck, I'll tell you. But it slammed my foot in there and was so excruciating. I basically screamed the entire way home, trying to drive it home without passing out and falling off. And what happened was it basically mashed up the nerves in the side of my foot. So I ended up going to the hospital. Fortunately, it hadn't been broken, but I've just started getting feeling back into that part of my foot in the last couple of weeks. So I was really lucky. I was wearing really heavy boots. That was part of what I think protected it, but it actually broke the branch off on my foot. So I have learned to practice safety. So I'm actually gonna put this camera away. I was thinking that when I was driving. Well, this is pretty silly. I don't have a mount for it or anything. So I'm going to put the camera away and I'll bring it back out when I'm done so you guys can see the finished product. All done. Hour and a half, 2 hours later, and it is raked up. So while I was out there, I was thinking about why it is that I love homesteading so much. What is it about homesteading that I like, and why is it that I like doing this kind of thing? Just because I started talking about that before and it just got me to thinking. So one of the reasons that I like this kind of thing is because it's quiet. There's the sound of the engine, of the motor running, and that kind of cancels out all the other sound around me. And I live in a life where there's constant sound and constant interruption. Dan's actually with the kids right now, which is awesome, so I don't even have to worry about them or anything. I can just sort of be in my own head, and that doesn't get to happen that often. So that's one reason that I like this, particularly like this kind of thing, haying. But why it is that I like homesteading, so part of it has to do with my childhood. I was raised by a mom who was really into making sure that we ate really healthy food. She made yogurt and made granola and did all of that kind of thing. And then she also read to us a lot, and she read to us like Lucy Maud and Laura Ingalls and those kinds of books. So that actually made a big impression on me when I was a kid. And then to hear my mom tell it, she says that I was born independent. So this kind of lifestyle really suits being independent, because I get to be, the more self-sufficient I become, the more independent from the systems that are out there I am. And I like that feeling. I like the feeling of feeling like if something were to go haywire in the world, or if we had job loss or anything like that, that I would be able to provide for my family. So the bigger our family's grown, the more need for more food there has been. So for me to have a fully stocked pantry and freezers, and it just gives me a sense of security that I really value. And I love being a woman who is capable of taking care of myself. That doesn't mean that I don't rely on my husband for a ton. I definitely do. There's no question about that. But I like knowing that I can take care of myself. I want to get to the point where I can physically protect myself better. I love that I know how to butcher an animal, that I would like to learn how to hunt so that I could even be more self-sufficient that way. Yeah, so anyway, that's what I was thinking about as I was driving around in circles, haying my field. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really appreciate all you watching, of course, as always, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.